Hi everyone, welcome to Our Voice. I'm Leon, and this is the second ever episode of Our Voice. Now, I'm sorry it's been a couple of weeks since the first ever broadcast, but obviously life gets in the way sometimes. What we're here with this week is we're going to talk about food and cancer rates and pretty much the overall health of the West, really. Now, if we take a look at the shape of pretty much most youngsters in the UK, where I am, you can see we've all got this really similar shape where, especially in young children, they all seem to be really like puffy and blown out. And yeah, a lot of the evidence points to obviously really, really poor nutrition and obviously loads and loads of processed foods. Now, obviously, we've got to look for common factors in the processed foods. Now, what's usually common in all the processed foods and junk food and fast food and other kinds of good stuff like that is usually a high level of sugar and mixed with fat at the same time, but not any normal fat. We're talking about altered fats, not in their normal state. So you're talking about things like trans fats and over-processed and refined oils and stuff like that, and these have been proven to be completely alien to your body. So obviously when they enter your body does not know what to do with them. And going with the sugar side of things, obviously a lot of children are just chucked sweets and dumped in front of a TV at the moment. It seems quite a common theme really in modern day Britain, and I'm sure it's the same in modern day America, because this crap's kind of filtering down from there. That's not having a stab at you guys in America. It's just how the culture creation side was set up really. And yeah, that's not in any way having to go at Americans did not set that up. It's people above that level, kind of internationalists. Not, I wouldn't actually call them Americans. But digressing aside, we need to look at a few issues to do with like organic foods and the kind of foods that are available to us every single day. And then take, for example, what would be a usual day eating for someone. Now, most people in the UK would start off with some cereal, which would be highly processed and absolutely loaded to the gills with sugar and God knows what other chemicals in there, and that would give you a nice big blood sugar spike, and your insulin would obviously come up to try and counteract that, and obviously you're going to get a nice big crash after that and then need your next fix of sugar, and you might have had some sugar in your coffee or your tea or whatever, and people seem to lech from one sugary snack to the next. And if you look at people, people get quite stressed easily these days and get really agitated. People find it hard to sleep. People will eat a lot of processed food watching the TV when they get back from work or whatever. There's a lot of comfort eating nowadays, and it just begs the question, why is there so much of this about, And obviously we can enter like the children one, which really upsets me, seeing really, really unhealthily obese children and stuff. I mean, obviously growing up when I was younger, there's always chubby kids. Everyone's got a different genetic makeup, Some people are just made completely different. You get other people who could not put a pound of fat on if they tried. You could give them butter every single meal and they'd never put any weight on. It's just, some people have got different metabolisms, and that's the beauty of humans. We're all different. Well, everything on the planet, we're all different, and that should be celebrated and not made this stupid equality agenda that's forced upon us all to keep us all the same, and because we're not all the same and we've all got different needs and different wants and different tastes, and that's not a bad thing. That's a really good thing, and we should be appreciating those for a creativity output. But getting back to the food, it's interesting when we look at like pediatric cancer rates and stuff like that over the past like 50 years, and see huge spikes, and not just in children, in the full spectrum of ages across the Western world. Really, cancer rates are up massively, and I'm sure a lot of you've constantly seen the adverts everywhere for cancer research, and I've often had a few good conversations with cancer research if they've ever bothered to knock on my door, and it's usually a bit difficult because it's something I feel quite passionate about. Cancer, because I've lost one of my best friends to cancer, who was like young at the time, and I'm sure a lot of you listening to this have lost people through it, but it just seems a bit alien to me to go do a jog and then give the money to some company which doesn't actually ever inform people about what is causing cancer and why cancer is up so much. They just seem to say, yeah, just give us some money and maybe organise a cake eating day, which obviously probably processed cakes which have got loads of carcinogens in, but yeah, just give us the money and yeah, it'll be alright, we'll keep researching it, but never actually coming up with anything. So it just leaves a really bad taste in my mouth, and especially if you go research into the very multi-billion pound industry that is cancer. It's quite a dark story, really. But all I'm primarily interested in is why, how different foods have affected how we live and how we function as a society, really, in the West, more so than anywhere else. And it'd be interesting to listen to other people's opinions on it, and also if you're listening to this, maybe have a look at what you're eating and just start to pay attention to a few of the words that are on the boxes and labels, and maybe start to do a little bit of research and just understand what these chemicals are. Now, I've always been interested in nutrition and fitness since quite a young age, and it always baffled me that a lot of people in the fitness industry would not drink the water out of the tap, and a lot of them had something called a reverse osmosis filter, which pretty much takes out all pesticides, all chemicals, everything from the water. You're just left with pure water. Now, there's different schools of thought on this, whether you should be drinking this kind of water, but regardless, I thought it was quite strange that all these people in the fitness world who, you know, obviously were super healthy, super conscious about what they were eating, what they were putting in the body. They always had sayings like, you know, if it comes from a plant or it comes from the ground, eat it. If it comes in a box, it's going to put you in a box. You know, those kind of sayings, it always went hand in glove with the fitness industry, and I always thought it was really interesting. And then when you look at certain chemicals that have been introduced into our diet over the past 20 years, 30 years, you start to see a direct correlation and link between certain diseases, certain illnesses, certain shapes that humans have adopted nowadays, and it's quite worrying. It's really quite worrying, and especially when, you know, a lot of parents are being forced to, both parents go to work, you know, not necessarily a mum or a dad left at home to look after the child anymore. A lot of children are left to fend for themselves, and therefore the convenience factor comes in, and this is where it's difficult for people. Personally, I don't think it's any excuse. I really don't think it's any excuse. You need to get educated on this, because at the end of the day, if it's your child, why would you want to put anything that's toxic anywhere near your child? Is just completely strange and backward to me. But obviously, if someone doesn't know and someone's pressed against it, they've got bills to pay, they've got a mortgage to pay, they're just trying to get through life, it's sometimes really difficult to find that time to get yourself informed, and I can pretty much guarantee it's not going to come from that box in the corner of your room. I don't think you're going to get much quality information from there. And obviously as well, if someone's just dipping into this for the first time, there's so much conflicting information, and this is why I think it's important sometimes to just take a step back and look at the facts for what they are. You know, obviously for every study that proves something causes some kind of reaction, there'll be a study on the flip side to it, and usually it's really difficult because you've got to look who paid for that study, where the scientists get the funding from, where the university got the money from. It is a minefield. It really is. But obviously, my approach to it has always been try and eat things that have got the least amount of chemicals in and the least amount of processing, really. And then getting on to that, if you can ever afford to eat organic, obviously certain foods are more beneficial eating organic than others, but it's a worrying trend when you see how much organic food has risen over the past couple of years. I mean, some of the prices of, say, broccoli, for instance, if you was in the supermarket, you could get a massive piece of broccoli, it looks huge, and then you look at the organic one and it's more than double the price and it's tiny. And that starts to make me question, what the hell have they put in the stuff that's non-organic, and it starts to really make you worry. And then obviously you're into dangerous ground, because when you're talking about an increase in, it's like more than double in some cases price, that's quite a huge amount to add onto your food bill every week. And it can mount up, especially if you did that 10 times. Imagine you bought 10 different types of vegetables. That is going to rocket your food bill. And then getting into meat, Jesus, if you started to buy organic meat, next time you're in the supermarket, go look at how much the organic meat is, and yeah, I'm pretty sure it'll blow your head off. And also, it should set a few alarm bells ringing as to why this stuff's so expensive. Now, I've heard lots and lots of different theories on where the elite get their food and all this kind of crap, but some of the best ones I've heard are under controlled environment, sheds and greenhouses with controlled air and stuff like this. But I have done quite a lot of research, and I can't find anything to do with this. But I'm pretty damn sure that they won't eat McDonald's and that kind of thing. I'm pretty sure about that. And yeah, it just always has really intrigued me to see the level of if you look at the shape of, say, like boys growing up and stuff like that, you look at the shape of how people change over the generations, it's really, really interesting. And especially when you start to see how they change in their outlook and approach, and then you get into what they're watching and listening to, and you start to see quite a worrying trend at the moment. It is it seems to be very popular to be unhealthily skinny as a boy, and be quite effeminate and feminine. And is this down to a lot of the things like bisphenol A in the waters and from the plastics, and a lot of estrogen in the water that gets processed in this country? And you start to worry really where it's all going to end, because people are constantly gorging on this kind of food, and it just, to me, I can't see where it stops, because speaking to a lot of young people, even like my young people in my family and stuff like that, a lot of them don't really understand how fundamentally important food is. The saying "you are what you eat" is such a profound saying, really, I think, because we really are. Every cell and structure of our body is made up from the food that we put in. It's just like you put crap fuel in a car, your car's going to run like crap, and it's going to break down, and it's going to need more maintenance than it should. And obviously, as we're all connected, our brain, organs, everything, we need to be functioning at our best, really. So yeah, obviously, not really sure where to go with this direction wise for the future or anything, but I've always thought that people seeking the truth and stuff like that need to really start from yourself and start making changes in your life, and taking control of the things that we can change or you can change. And I think this is going to be the key, to us going forward towards a better life, and surrounding yourself with people who are passionate about the same things, really, because I think when it comes to the crunch, you're going to want people around you who are definitely going to have got the same outlook and approach to life, and the same how can we say, principles and ethics, really, like morals, because the morality in this country seems to have just disappeared at the moment, and all this psychopath crap that's pushed about, just look out for yourself and you need to be a little bit of a psychopath to get on in the world, is could not be further from the truth in reality. And yeah, obviously I'll sign off now, guys, but I just thought I'd put that out there. And yeah, again, it's been great hearing from a couple of people over the past couple of weeks since I put the first broadcast out. It's been great. I'll just say a big hello to Billy. Thanks for the emails and that. It's been good to talk to you. And yeah, I'll speak to you all soon, guys. If you've got any input to put in, or you want to put your 2 pennies worth in or whatever, drop it in the comments below, or come and find me and send me an email and let me know what you think. But yeah, speak to you all soon.